I'm Henry Steiner, a professor, now professor emeritus at Harvard Law School, and I've been asked to give you some information about my knowledge of Lobsang Sangay and my work with him when I acted as his academic supervisor in the writing of his master's thesis and later as one of two supervisors in the writing of his doctoral thesis. The doctoral thesis took very inventive and novel directions by exploring the relationship or potential relationship between the exiled Tibetan community based in Dharamsala and democracy. Now, what had to be done was for Lobsang to engage in not only a very careful examination of the government in exile, detailed many visits, interviews with many of the participants, leaders in that Dharamsala-based government, but also the whole history and theory of democracy as it developed over numerous centuries in the West, and now is characterized mostly by countries in the West, plus India, Japan, and several others that are now part of the democratic world, Latin America, and so on. Now, what is impressive is that over this period of time with a doctorate, Lobsang developed a very impressive scholarly knowledge of theory, concepts, history, and the many different contemporary manifestations of political democracy. He's woven these into a set of proposals involving a close, useful description of the government in exile and ways in which it could, and indeed has developed, and has developed in some of the fundamentals of a democratic movement, including, of course, elections as perhaps the core concept. Through this thesis, he's become very widely known. It's been read widely by people in interested communities. And more broadly, he's become a figure of significance in the Tibetan exile community, consulting with both many journals and bodies of opinion, government bodies, and so on in his work in the field. I think he's shown himself to be not only an effective scholar acting in really new ways and new paths in making these explorations, but as a leader who's been able to summon a lot of interest in his own country and to change in some fashion ideas of numerous people about ways in which Tibet could develop both now and perhaps someday in its own autonomous or independent way on Tibetan soil. Thank you. Still more than 2 minutes.